Welcome to round 3 of Living End in Modern. Apologies, we're starting on our opponent's turn 2 as I did not press record properly. I misclicked it and we missed the first chunk of the match. So, yeah, round 3 of Living End, and we're hoping that this game is going to be a lot better than the last one, as I threw that game pretty hard. I don't think I was winning that game, but I certainly didn't improve my chances. And now we're being spreading seized, which isn't it's not the end of the world really, considering we have plenty of land in our hand. Not that our opponent knows that, but it's certainly annoying. So I'm going to let spreading seized resolve. I'm not really sure what they're playing. Was not expecting an Aether Vial. They could be playing fairies. And they're playing Mutavault, Dark Slick Shores. Could just be Merfolk with black. I think that's probably more likely, actually. The thing is that it's probably not a bad idea to play Merfolk with black, because that way it gives them better access to Dismember. And when I say better access, I just mean it hurts them less for having it in their deck. Can't cast any of our red spells at the moment, which is a bit irritating. So if you're going to stymie my mana development, I shall stymie yours. Enjoy that. The game is far from over with us doing that to them, as they have an active Aether Vial and they could potentially just beat us to death with Mutavaults depending on what else they draw. So I'm not feeling good about where we're at the moment. I'm hoping that's going to do more than just that. Another spread. Jeez. Fine. What have we got in the grave? We've got Desert Ceradon, Architects of Will, Street Wraith. So we've got a decent amount of stuff to actually bring back now. Cast a Forest, play a Forest, and probably going to Beast Within in their end step. The Vial is annoying. I'm tempted to Vial that, but we also want to Vial the... tempted to Beast Within the Aether Vial, but probably just going to have to Beast Within our Spreading Seas to get back a Blood Crypt, so I can actually cast the Demonic Dread. And by doing that as well, we actually put a creature on the table to allow us to cast the said Demonic Dread. Oh, although he's putting in a Merfolk for us. I imagine they'll play a Lord. Yep. Hit us for a lot. Oh yeah. And throwing another Lord to make it more damage. This is kind of why I didn't want to Beast Within in our turn and then let them get a free 3 points of damage. Because they can just do this out of nowhere and all of a sudden you're at no life. Okay, this looks like it's going to... No, it's Spreading Seas, isn't it? It's going to target the Spreading Seas. It keeps making me think it's going to target the Blood Crypt. But no, we're going to target Spreading Seas. It's gone blue around the Spreading Seas. Yes. Good. Freaked me out then. Cycle of Horror. Okay, so now we just go with Demonic Dread. Do we add in the Faerie Macabre now? 4, 5, 6, 10, 13, 16, 20. No, I don't think we do. I think we save the Macabre in case something bad happens. Beast cannot block. We're going to try and blank your next few draw steps, my friend. So you may have no Silvergill Adept. Then you can have a tap land. Then you can have an Aether Vial. Goodbye, Mutavault. Just want to slow him down. Yeah. That was enough. I mean, it was interesting that the agonising over the Faerie Macabre because I wanted to put more power on the table. But essentially this puts him in on dead in 2 turns. Playing this because what's that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, well, dead in a turn if he can't block it, and dead in 2 turns if he's got any one blocker. And playing the lands just reduces the amount of things he could put to the board. I don't want a situation where he can play a chump blocker, vial in something nasty, and then get in there for 11. So killing his resources like that and not taking as much damage from the beast. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So we definitely want Krosan Grips, as Aether Vial is an irritant, and if they bring in any graveyard hate, which is very likely for them to do, Ricochet Traps, as they probably board into counter spells. So Fulminator Mage, whilst was really nice there, I don't think it's necessarily, it's just not slow enough. They played so many big creatures and they get that mana advantage off of the Aether Vial. Fulminator Mage doesn't do enough. Beast Within I do feel like I want because of Spreading Seas, although that might have just been because it was useful that one time. Shriekmaw feels very good. Faerie Macabre not so much. So Faerie Macabre could be good if I have to play multiple Living Ends. However, I don't mind it so much if I'm boarding in. I don't mind taking it out so much if I'm taking in Shriekmaw, because if I've killed something with a Shriekmaw, if I have to bring back a Shriekmaw, then I kind of reduce the fact that, or it doesn't matter so much if they bring in creature back, is what I mean, because the Shriekmaw will kill a creature. So Faerie Macabre is a nice thing to just remove, and beyond that, I think maybe shave a Demonic Dread and an Architects of Will, perhaps. Beast Within does feel quite good. Maybe just take out 2 Demonic Dreads. Yeah, that feels okay. Faerie Macabre is good, but not really in a shine, I wouldn't have thought, in this matchup. I don't mind Demonic Dread so much. Actually, no, we'll take out an Architect of Will and a Demonic Dread. It's just kind of like reducing copies of the weaker cards. Well, the Demonic Dread's not really a weak card. I just would prefer to try and cast things at instant against decks with that possibly have counter spells. This hand seems acceptable. Just the amount of cyclers, if nothing else. So we'll keep this. This will offer a degree of protection against a turn 2 Spreading Seas if they've kept their hand based on Spreading Seas, so that's quite nice. No, so they're more than happy to cast their... Oh dear. Cast their relic on turn 2 instead. Seems strong. Glad I played a Bloodstained Mire now. Cycle of Ceradon. Cycle of Ceradon first because we have a mixture of 2 colours of cycling left. Cycle of Street Wraith. Doesn't feel good. If I only had a creature, force them to use that relic on turn 2, or rather they wouldn't be able to use the relic on turn 2. Oh, come on. Violent Outburst, one time. Nah. That would have been so good. Wouldn't have been able to do anything about that with his relic. Instead, we're just going to have to... Oh, this is so bad. So bad. That relic is just going to chip away. You know, it just takes a turn off to play things off curve, keeping relic mana up, then he's doing just fine. Cycle of Ceradon. Cycle Architects of Will, because I'd rather keep the horror not in the grave to be exiled. Okay, so play a swamp. If I cast Simian Spirit Guide, then I have a way of casting Demonic Dread. But I don't really think that matters too much, because you're just gonna pop everything there anyway. So now if he gets greedy and... Oh, he forgot to make me discard exile a card, so that's good. So if he gets greedy and tries to wipe stuff out with the relic, then at least I can Violent Outburst in response, but that's never going to happen. That's like, if they make a mistake and do that, it's pretty much what I'm hoping for at this point. And I think, given the amount of stuff in my graveyard, I don't really think there's a lot of value in... Yes, I would like to pay 2 life. And what we're going to do now is play the waiting game. No, because he's just going to... Actually, no, that's fine. That's fine. He's going to take a card out, if he remembers this time, and then I can just cycle a little bit to fill it back up a bit, so that he kind of is incentivized to pop it. So that I can then use these cards in my hand. Sure. What do you take? Ah, you took Demonic Dread. Take out the Architects of Will. Everything else is better in terms of how much damage it represents. I like casting Living End early in this scenario, just because, as I said before, the longer these games go on, then the worse it is for us. So if we're kind of relying on a Living End in that way, it's important to cast it early, so that actually you're not just spending ages. So this is a sad thing about what's about to happen to us, is we're just going to get beaten down. Curse Catcher is an awkward card as well with Living End, as obviously it's a potential counter spell, but it also sacrifices itself, which can be really annoying. So what do we do here? I think we evoke Shriekmaw because we need to eliminate this Vendilion Click, and also put a card in the grave again. So yeah, we're going to evoke a Shriekmaw. Which is perhaps actually what he should have taken upon reflection when he V-clicked me. This is anything that dealt with his V-click. So that's that. That's all we're going to do. Sure. Take out a Street Wraith. I think the unblockable ability on the Street Wraith is slightly less relevant considering their life total so high. Rather have the 6/4. I'm going to have to take a lot of damage from these lands here potentially. Oh. Yep. In for 2. End step. Keep cycling just to add stuff in the graveyard so that it forces him to use his relic. Not overly keen about just feeding the relic stuff, but it's got to be done. So we just play a forest and tempted to cast a Monstrous Carabid, as that will be a good blocker. But let's go with this instead. And I think I just lost the game. Yeah. I don't know why I did that. Don't know why I did that. I'm tilting pretty hard here. I'm not paying attention to the board state. Again, I'm sitting there thinking he can only activate 1 Mutavault for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, that's dreadful. Ugh. Fulminator Mage seems better now because of the man lands. But it's a case of what do I take out for that? Take out Simian Spirit. No, we're gonna leave it as it is. I'm just gonna go for the just rushing them plan with the Krosan Grips as backup, and just Krosan Grips is going to stay in for backup, and just hope to living in them quicker than they can deal with it. This hand seems reasonable, not the best, just because there's a lot of land again. But we'll just dive out. If they play Merfolk early, then we've got a way of killing it, which is nice. Obviously we lose pretty hard to Relic, don't do it! And this is always a problem. Always a problem. We'll get a Blood Crypt. I'm not going to pay 2 life because I don't know what we're going to draw off this. If it's a Cycler, then we get punished. No. Oh, look at that. I just had a feeling we wouldn't draw land the way these games, the way I'm playing and the way this is all working out. Just don't think it's going to happen. So we'll just go with that, and then pass the turn. He's missed us removing a land again, which is nice. Draw a card, Merfolk. Yeah. Silver Girl. Silver Girl. Couldn't remember its name. I'm just going to get a mountain here, because I've already got multiple green sources. Okay, what's happening? We can still cycle a Ceradon if we hit one. Now we're just going to draw copious amounts of lands. Okay, so I feel like now is a good time to cast Living End, given that we'll get 2 creatures back, and they're both quite reasonable ones. It's just fighting through this Relic of Progenitus is just horrible. Does mean we get to try and smooth out our draws. It's better to do theirs or ours. Given our hand is so god awful, I'm just going to do ours. Okay, that's good. So the land is the last thing we want. So if we cycle, if we have Ceradon last, and then the land, and then the cycler, then at least we're kind of doing more with our mana that way. Not just dropping a swamp and then saying go. So the nice thing about this now is we can just take away cards like, well, all of these 4 cards now. So we've got 4 turns where when he taps the relic, we're not actually losing anything of much value, which is good. And we have 6 power on the table, which may be enough. It may be enough. I'm now sitting here thinking, I wish I'd bought in Fulminator Mages. Go on, get a swamp. Yeah. You probably won't forget that Street Wraith has got Swamp Walk, but you never know. Fair enough. Now that is a good reason to be playing black. Kind of thinking I want to attack with a Street Wraith, cast Simian Spirit Guide, and then hard cast a Shriekmaw rather than just evoke it. As I also think he'll present a better target than what he's putting there. So this way I add a bit of power to the board. cycle with a Carabid, filling up the grave a little bit, and also build up towards casting a Shriekmaw. Just doing multiple things there this way. I think evoking it now just means it's just going to be doomed to get exile with Relic. Spreading Seas, my green source. Okay, fine. This is a straight up race now. Oh, double Relic. That is not kind. Yeah, which makes me feel a lot better about waiting to cast the Shriekmaw because we are just straight up racing now. Just throwing stuff into the grave is not ideal, especially he's able to just exile 2 cards a turn. Yeah, okay. Have a Violent Outburst. Okay. Living End. Oh, Swamp. That's not a good draw. If only I drew a Ceradon. Okay, so setting this aside, going with this. Almost evoked it. Hardcast Shriekmaw. Destroy this. Get in for 5. It's possible he has another Fatal Push. The amusing thing now is I can also just cast 6/4. Yeah! Okay, I didn't think I was going to win that. I just thought it was just going to untap and just go 5 cards in hand and just like play like double Lord and then take a bit more damage, but then just not quite die, and then we'd just not be able to get through. All the while he's just destroyed our graveyard. But no. Sometimes casting Living End for 2 creatures is enough, and just grinding out from there. As it happens, being as flooded as we were, it definitely worked in our favour to a degree because we were able to hard cast things like Shriekmaw against what was seemingly a very clunky hand for our opponent. I mean, I don't know what else they kept in that game. I mean, they had a Relic, Fatal Push, Silvergill Addict. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. I can't remember what they revealed off of the Silvergill now. But yeah, we got away with that one. I think I played that last game was a lot better, and definitely the right thing to do to cast Living End on turn 2 when you're facing down a Relic which is unable to be used to its full potential. It's better to get some value out of it than nothing. And that's the beauty of this deck, is even if you can do stuff like that, the fact that you're putting out 6 power on turn 3 over, and a 4 toughness creature, 3/4 and 3/3 on turn 3, it's quite. It's a lot for decks to deal with, and obviously he had a push for 1 creature, but it was enough to kind of get there. Hard casting Simian Spirit Guides for the win. Stay tuned for round 4.